Hi guys, in today's video I'm going to teach you how to figure out the beat so that when you go out you can dance with rhythm. And remember, if you're totally bad with rhythm and you want to learn online with my help to become a skilled and confident social dancer, you can book a consultation with me below to get started. If you're a total beginner, you have two basic rhythmic patterns to follow. You can follow, for example, the snare drum, which sounds like a clap or a snap. This is an example, this is what it sounds like. Or you can follow the tempo of the song, where we have the little kick drum. It's like a hitting sound, it sounds like this. I'll show you. So let me show you where everything is. So let's start with a simpler song. In this one, we have a very loud snare. It's very clear. Check if you can hear. And let's say we have a movement, something very simple, because again, today we're working on rhythm, so I'm going to show you only the simplest steps. But let's say we have a heel in, which I taught before on my channel, and we know that on that snare sound, the heel will go in. So every single time we hear the snare, the heel has to go in. This is like our deadline. So let's match it to that song. In the meantime, I prepared a list of movements that will go with each category. So you'll know exactly what moves to do on the snare, exactly what moves to do to the tempo. Everything is organized, so you'll find the link below. You will be able to download it from there.
Pavement, on the pavement, yeah. No sleep in my body. Last night got me wasted.
So you see, this is pretty simple because we have a loud snare, we know what part of the movement has to fall on the snare, and we can just match the movement to the beat. Now, what if we want to dance to the tempo? In this song, there is no kick drum, at least not yet. So how do we figure out the tempo of the song? By just knowing the snare. The snare drum is always going to be beat 2. Technically, it's every even number because usually we count to 4 or 8. So 2, 4, 6, 8 would be the snare. But since we're not musicians, at least I'm not, I'm going to simplify things and we're just going to count to 2. So let's say every beat 2 is the snare. So if we listen to the song, we just need to, once we know where the snare is, put beat 1 right in between the snare. Snare 1 and snare 2. So we have 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and so on. It has to be right in the middle between the two snares. It cannot be 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, because then the distance between 1 and 2 is shorter. And both of those counts, 1 and 2, are the tempo. They show us where the tempo is. So let's listen to our example song again. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
No sleep in my body. Last night got me wasted.
1 is a hit, that's why I'm hitting my hand. 2, the snare is the snap sound. You see? And if I count 1, 2, 1, 2, both those beats give us the tempo. Like I said, sometimes you will hear a beat, a specific beat that sounds differently than the snare drum because it's a kick drum, but a lot of times you won't have that beat there. But you still can figure out the tempo and you still can dance to the tempo, even if you not necessarily hear it. So let's say we take a very simple step. Again, we're just going to walk. I wanted to keep it as basic as possible so you can focus on listening and not doing fancy moves. We'll do that later. So let's say we're walking forward. We're just going to put the foot down on every one of those beats. So 1 is a step, 2 is a step. We have a tempo. So we have 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And you can walk back the same way, doesn't matter which foot starts. Count 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. You also will notice that on 2, it's all the same foot that does the step down. In my case, it's right. If you mirror me, it's going to be left. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Ain't nobody calling my phone up.
1, 2, you can do it in place too. Things down, 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 down. The accent is down, not up.
Nobody would care, yeah. Don't wanna be alone anymore, so I might as well sleep with the doors unlocked. Yeah, yeah.
So remember before we were just moving the heel on 2, the heel was going in every other beat. On 1 we were just resetting. Now if we dance to the tempo with the same movement, we have to do it twice as fast because we have to go in with the heel on every beat. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. You see that? So every 1, my left foot goes in, left heel. Every beat 2, my right heel goes in. And it doesn't matter which one you start with, as long as every single beat is your accent with the heel in. It has to be the same movement on every beat. That's how we accent the tempo.
Pavement, on the pavement, yeah, yeah. No sleep in my body. Last night got me wasted, yeah, yeah. Ain't nobody calling my phone up just to make sure I get...
When you're switching from dancing on every other beat to dancing on every beat, you just double up the movement. You do it twice as fast than before. You can also think about it like that. Today we were working on rhythm, but I will do part 2 where I will specifically show you how to dance to songs like that. I'm going to also play some different songs, more challenging ones. So make sure you are subscribed, make sure you hit the notifications bell so that when that video comes up, you're notified and you don't miss it. If you want to learn how to dance with rhythm, with my unlimited help inside my online program, feel free to book a consultation with me. We're going to see if we can work together to help you become that skilled and confident social dancer. As always, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to see you in my next tutorial. Bye guys.
I've lost you, but I need you, and you're off my radar now.